Hello, this tutorial will cover how to make the model for A22 and the drawing as well. We'll take a look at the isometric. We've got the circle on this end and the two arms coming across and then a flange this way. Looking at the two views, hopefully it's obvious that the top view is where we're going to start with our drawing and that's what we'll do. I've got this pulled up on another monitor so I can look at it while I'm doing my Fusion assignment. If you need to print this out or just switch back and forth on screens, it's great to have this as an easy reference. So I'm going to get into Fusion. I've got this saved in the correct folder. I've done this a few times. I've had some technical problems with the recording. But the first thing we always want to do is go ahead and save this from the get-go. So I'm going to call this model 822. We'll call this C. This is my third try at the video. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, make sure it's saved in the right place. And once I get this saved, I'm going to go ahead and hide the data panel and make sure we're good to go. This drawing is in millimeters, so I'm going to come over here, change my active units to millimeters. Make sure that my z-axis is up. You can change that in your preferences if you need to. But I'm going to go ahead and select this top frame for my design. I'm going to go ahead and put the origin on the left side with the two big circles. One of those is 40 millimeters. The other one is 66. And those are both diameter measurements. The next thing I have is the other circle, kind of down here far away. I'm going to draw a line and put it there. I'm going to hit the escape key to get out of that. I'm going to change this to a construction line. I'm going to select that and right click on it to change it to a construction line. And from looking at the drawing, I can see that that other circle is 200 millimeters away. So I'm just going to go ahead and type that in and hit enter. And then I'll fit this to the window so I can see what's going on. So that's going to be the center for the other circle. I also have a nice horizontal reference in my drawing for when I need it. So grab the circle command. One of these circles is 16 millimeters. The other one is 32 millimeters. So I've got both of those. Looks like there's kind of a flat section coming off of here. This is the upper part of the flange. So I could draw some horizontal lines, but I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to draw a little rectangle right here. And I know that the height of that rectangle is the same as the diameter of the circle. So I know this is going to be 32 in height. And then from looking at the drawing, it goes from the center of the circle. It also goes out 32. So this is actually a square, not a rectangle. So I've got this box exactly where I want it. And I want to go ahead and I want to put the midpoint of this line on the center of that circle. So I'm going to come up here to my constraints, grab the midpoint constraint, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this line and then the center of that circle, and it puts it in there. So that just makes sure that everything is nice and perpendicular, make sure those measurements are set up well. I don't have to try to apply the tangent constraint to get this in the right spot and the tangent constraint and then join those ends. It's easier just to make that shape and then snap it to the center of that circle. So now I can go ahead and connect the corner of this over here. I'm specifically going to avoid doing tangent because it says it's 7.8 degrees. So if I put it where it snaps into tangent, it's going to stay there. And I won't be able to put in my own angle that I need to. So I'm going to miss on purpose, put it over there. We'll draw another line down here and get with that one there. And I'll go into the dimension, and I can go from this line to the center. And if the whole thing is 7.8, then I have to divide by 2 in my head, and I really hope that's 3.9. 3.9 for that half. And the line stops right here, but put the dimension out there, which is kind of nice, just so it's out of the way. And I'm also going to dimension from this line to the center That should also be 3.9. And if we add those two together, let me just double check from here to here. This will be a driven dimension. Because if you add 3.9 to 3.9, the only thing you can get is 7.8. Driven dimensions means that I can't select this to change it. It's mathematically already determined for me. So that 3.9 is good. Let me go ahead and delete that. I don't want to have extra unnecessary measurements on it that I don't need. And actually, I'm going to scoot these inside so they're not in the way, I think. Okay. So I've got that. I got that line for the 32. There's another line that's 10 millimeters away. It's a hidden line, so it's going to be another part of my sketch. So I'll put that in there. You notice that that's blue. It means it's not fully defined or constrained yet. So I'll say that this has got to be that 10 millimeters away. I'll put that in there. And then I know I need this the cutout in the center. And it's great because there's already a tool for making slots in Fusion, which is what that is. So I'm going to do the center to center slot tool. And this is where it's really helpful that I've already got that construction line in the center. So if you hold your mouse still for a second, it says select start center point. So I'm just going to put that on the line. I slide down, select end center point. And it says select point on the slot. So I'll just go up a little bit right there. So it's made my slot. So now I can kind of come in and put those dimensions on there. From my drawing, I see that from the center of here to the center of here is 53. I can put that in. The slot length itself from this center to this center is 90. And then I can also see on the drawing, it says that this is a radius of 7. And if it has a radius of 7, that means the diameter is going to be 14. So if I come in here, I can either do it right there. We'll just say radius 7. We'll do it the same way they did it on the drawing. That turns black, and that means that that's fully defined and constrained. There's a little radius 30 here. It's actually easier to do that as a fillet at the end after I've extruded this rather than to do it on the drawing. I think that I've got everything in there. We'll see. Let me go ahead and fit this to the screen. We'll finish the sketch. I like to do my extrusions from this isometric, the home view, just so I can see what's going on. Start my extrude tool. I'll grab this biggest one. And we'll do this one. It's going to be symmetric about this axis, so I want to go ahead and do symmetric both sides. And it gives me the option to pick the half length or the total length. The total length is defined in my drawing as 32, so I'm just going to click the whole length and type in 32 millimeters. And leave that as new body and say OK. Whenever you make the extrude, it's going to hide the sketch. So we'll turn the visibility back on. I'm going to come in here, grab my extrude command again. Oh, let's go ahead. Let's save this. I should have saved after my extrude. Sorry, I get carried away. You have to have 6 saves going through this, so let's make sure we get them in there. So this is sketch and first extrude. Hopefully I'll have enough other things to get the 6 saves. If not, you may need to go back and save after the sketch and do the first extrude as its own save. Grab the extrude again. I'm going to grab this chunk right here. I think that's it. I think I'm going to leave this later. I'm going to come over here and do symmetric. And once again, it tells me that the whole length is 16 millimeters. So I'll do that. Join and say OK. Save this as second extrude. So now I've got this part right here. This is going to be the part that goes up and down. This is the vertical part of that flange. So I'm going to extrude this again, grab that, once again, go symmetric. And I'm going to go, I've got the rest of the sketch right here, so I'm going to go the whole distance. Looking at my drawing, it says that whole distance is 70 millimeters. So we'll click on whole length and do 70. And once again, that's on join. We'll hit OK. We'll save that as, this is my third extrude. So now I need to get this on top of here and on the bottom there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch plane on this surface. And it kind of flattens out, but I'm going to go back to the isometric view just so you can see what's going on. The sketch grid is actually on this surface right here. If I come to the front view, you can see that this line is my sketch plane. This is what I did before. But my current sketch plane is up here, and all this stuff is down below it. So I want to come down here to create, and I'm going to project selection filter specified entities. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to start selecting these lines, and you can see that as I click on these lines, it projects them upward onto that sketch plane. I've already got that one. We'll just go ahead and click on it. I'll make sure that I've got all this sketch information down here, up here. And we'll just go ahead. I don't know if I need it or not, but we'll put it in there. We'll say OK. So I've got all 6 of those lines in there. So now these lines are on here, and I think that's all I need for that. So we'll hit Finish Sketch. We'll save this as my second sketch. Okay. So now I can grab the extrude command. And this is already, okay, so I already did this to the very, very top. So everything's actually going to come down. I'm going to grab this and this. And since this is already 70, this is already the maximum height, this needs to come down. I'm looking at my drawing. Let me go back here real quick for you. I came up all the way to 70, so I've already got this very top part. So my extrude needs to come down a little bit. If this inside dimension is 50, the outside is 70, that gives me 20. So that's going to be 10 on top and 10 on the bottom. And it's labeled right there. So each of these has got to be 10 thick. So I'm going to come down 10 millimeters. We're on join again. I'm going to say OK. So we'll save this. I'm on 1, 2, 3. I guess this is my 4th extrude. I'm going to say top of the flange just so I can remember what it is. Top of the flange extrude. I've got that saved. And then I'm going to come in here to the, we'll create a mirror. Okay. And I don't want to do faces. I want to do features. So I can come down here to my timeline and grab this feature. That's what I want to grab. It looks weird that it grabs that whole thing, but it'll be okay. I'm going to select, I want this to be my mirror plane. It's kind of over here. So I kind of want a trick. If you zoom way, way out, the origin gets really big, and that's the plane that I started on. So I want that to be my sketch plane. I can just come back down here to fit this in. So it's going to go ahead, and when I hit OK, there it is. So we'll save that as the mirror. And then we'll turn off that sketch, and that should be good. I'm going to hit inspect just to make sure I didn't mess this up at all. I'm going to grab that corner and that corner. It says the distance is 70. I'm going to grab that corner and that corner. It says the Whoops. That distance is 50. Okay, so I got all those right. And then the last thing, glad I didn't forget, I got to add in these last two fillets. So I'm going to grab that fillet there. You kind of poke around here and find it. There's the other fillet. You can also switch to the other side. And the drawing says that this is a 30 millimeter fillet. So we'll go ahead and save that as fillet. So I had plenty of saves. I'm all about to version 8. So this is good. We'll go ahead. We'll do the extra step. We're going to hit the A on our keyboard, letter A for appearance. And we're going to go ahead and make this thing look pretty. I'm going to come down here to paint. Come down here to glossy. I'm going to paint this blue, and it's on bodies. So I'm just going to take this whole thing, turn the whole thing blue. But it's actually kind of more of a purple in my drawing. And not that I'm a huge stickler for accurate colors, but let's just figure out how to do this. I right-clicked on here, and I said duplicate, so I've now got another one. I can right-click on this again and click edit. And now it brings this up where I've got a million different colors. So there is no way that I'm going to get that same shade, but we'll just go ahead and kind of say somewhere out there. I don't know. We'll say done, and now this is going to switch to a different kind of purplish color, which is way lighter than what I had. But you know, you get all sorts of options. You can also right-click on this. I can edit this. I can click on color libraries, and you can kind of start going through. Oh, this may be better. It's right on top of my thing. So let me slide down into the purple world. Okay. And let me actually, we'll see if we can do this. Sorry that I'm taking the extra time. No, I can't. So I'm going to go half screen. Sorry for this diversion. You'll have to forgive me. So I've got, this is my PDF, and this is my color match. So I can kind of scroll through here. Yeah, I don't know. But you get how to do it. Maybe purple coralites is close. I like that better. So I can take that, select that, hit OK. And now that's going to change to that purple coralites color. We'll throw that on there and see if that's a better match for what I got. But you get the idea. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of just leaving this on bodies and faces, I'm going to go all out. And I'm going to switch this to faces. And I'm going to take this steel. I'm going to put this on the inside face. So it looks like we actually kind of drilled through this thing and cut out this. I'm also going to go ahead and do it over here on these because they look like they've been kind of drilled through. And since this is on faces, it's only going to do one face at a time. So you kind of have to keep dragging it over there for all 4 faces. It's not going to let me sneak in there, so let me go ahead, rotate my model, and then put that steel one. I'm kind of clicking and dragging and then releasing when I'm on top of there. And I'll go back to my view. So if you're into making things look nice and look pretty, we got you covered. Okay, so that's a pretty good model. We'll go ahead and save that and say this is where we put in the appearance. All right, next thing we have to do is make a drawing from this. So I'll come up here, switch from my design workspace to drawing workspace. We'll leave these defaults as they are, and that's fine. It's going to open up a new tab for drawing up here. The first thing I'm going to do is put in a base view. Whoops, there it is. And that's awfully small. We'll switch to the, usually it's the northeast view, which is to be shaded. And we'll say 1 to 2. That looks like everything will fit. We'll place that view and say OK. All right. I'll come over here, grab this for another base view. We'll kind of hold it there for a second. We'll come over here and save it with the top view. I think I picked 1 to 2. And this one we want to be visible and hidden edges. And we'll say OK. And then now for the other last one, I'm going to come down here. Usually we just pick another base view and do this side version and kind of stick this in here. But if you look at it, you can see that this is different than what the PDF is that was given to you. Oh, somehow I closed out of my drawings. Okay, so I've got my model back here. This is my PDF. You can see that this has got the crosshatch lines and this little A-A and the A and A up here. It means that this is a cross-section view instead of just being a side view. So this is not going to work. So I'm going to select this and hit the delete key. We're going to have to do a little bit of work on this one. I'm just going to slide it over a little bit. I'll have to do a little bit of work on this one, and then we can do the cross-section view. So first thing I'm going to do is the center mark. Mark the center of that circle. Mark the center of that circle. I'm also going to do a center line from here to here, kind of puts that center line in there that we're going to need. And now I think I can start putting some dimensions on here. Looking at the PDF once again, I know that this is a 40 and this is a 66. I'm not getting any units displayed over here, so I'm going to come over to Document Settings, Display Unit Dimensions. I'm going to select that and say Display Unit Dimensions and select OK. And that puts the millimeters with them. So now I can keep going. Sometimes it won't grab what you're looking for. If you just zoom in, it's a little bit easier to grab the part that you're looking for. So that's my 30 millimeter. That's my 7 millimeter. This is my 16. This is a radius of 16, so I'm gonna hit cancel on that one. And I want diameter dimensions. So usually the auto picker will do good. It kind of guesses what you want. Notice I want a diameter dimension. So that's 32, and that's 16. And that's the way they're labeled on the drawing, so that'll be easier for us to tell. Okay, I also need the 53 from that center to that center. I need the 200 for the whole length. I need this 90 right there. I need from this line to this line is 10. I need from this line to the center. There we go. I think, yeah, that's what it is. That's 32. And I think that's all the things. I'm gonna hit escape, select this, and kind of move it up a little bit, and click this one and move this one up as well. There we go. I think that's good. Oh, and I need the degree measurement in here. So I'm going to click on the dimension, grab this one, and grab this one, and we'll kind of come in here and say 7.8. Okay. So that's the top dimension, which is fantastic. But now we come up here for the section view. So we'll click on this tool. Let your mouse stay still for a second. It says select parent view. So I'm going to click on this. And it says specify start point of section line. So I've got that center line going from here over to here. But if I come down, whoops, nope. Yeah, right there. So sorry. Stop. I put you right there. Okay, let me hit escape. We'll try that again. Select parent view, specify the start of the line to that point. Oh, and I'll just hit the check mark. So sorry. Create and continue. So now if I drag this down, this is going to be the section view, but you can see from the preview, it doesn't go all the way past this line. Wherever I put that A is as far as it's going to go. So if I come down here and place it and say OK, it's going to give me part of that, but it doesn't go far enough out. So what I need to do, as I'm going to delete this view, okay, and I need to take this line right here, this center line. I'm going to select it. I'm going to grab that little gray arrow on the end. I'm going to drag it outward, and it makes that arrow longer. I'm going to grab this gray. You can kind of see it. And grab that gray head of the arrow and slide it out past the end of my drawing. So now that center line goes all the way through my drawing. Now it should be much easier to grab the section view. This says select the parent view. And we're going to start it out here on the end, come all the way out here to this end, and say check mark. Oh, check mark. Duh. Okay. So now you can see that our cross section is going to go the whole length of the model. So I'll bring it down here and place it. The scale is from the parent, and it's got the same visible edges, but it also has the cross hatching. So now I can come in here, and just like normal, I can come in and put in the rest of my dimensions. That's 32. This one right here is 16. I don't know why it's doing that weird line. Maybe my numbers are too big to fit in between there. So, oh, you know what? I didn't put any fillets in here. I'm looking on my drawing. Where's my mouse? I'm looking at my drawing. I'm trying to place this radius 6 fillet and this radius 6 fillet, and I did not do those on my model. So this is perfect. This is one of those happy accidents. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as my drawing. I'm not done with it yet. But I'm going to come back here to my model, and I'm just going to put some fillets in here, just because I was a bonehead and forgot. So right there, and there. Those are all 6mm fillets. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to save this again. With my fillets. And now that I've got this saved, I can come back here to my drawing. And there's this yellow exclamation point that says, hey, there's a new version. So as soon as I click this exclamation point, it's going to come down here. I'm going to take a second. And it's going to update my drawing from my model. And now I've got those fillets in there. So I'll come back to the dimension tool, and grab this one, and say radius 6. Grab this one and say radius 6. I need from this line out to this line is 38. From here to here is 10. And this inside dimension is going to be 50. And then this farthest dimension is going to be 70. Okay. And this is weird. So I'm going to hit the escape key. I'm going to grab this and see if I can't drag it down. No, it's still going to do that. Let me see if I can kind of line it up. There we go. I kind of put it in line. I don't know why it's doing that. It's just weird. So I'm going to grab this and drag it where it's up in line. 32mm. And same thing, I'm dragging this up here where it's in line. Okay. Okay, so as I zoom out and kind of check this with my other drawing, this AA is kind of in an awkward place. I'm going to drag that gray box, bring it down here. Okay. So this exclamation point, since I put a fillet on here, it doesn't like that anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and hit delete because I updated that shape. So I'll put it back in there. And same thing, I'm going to drag this to be in line like that. Oh, why is behaving so weird? Okay. So no problems with my drawings. I'll save that again. And I do believe, I'm looking at my PDF, 40 and 66 and 30, S7, 32 and 16. I'm just double checking to make sure I've got all the measurements. I got the 7.8 degrees in there. 32 and 16, my two radiuses. Okay. And it's helpful to kind of go through and double check all your measurements. That's how I found out that I forgot to put the fillets in. But once you get this saved, you go ahead, output this as a PDF, and you can put this on your web page for your assignment. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.